A Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Chakodash, the ones that passes a great millstone, and Shalom to rivers and highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully, and continually fighting the good fight of faith. Lord willing, you'll find that number to be delivered. All right. So it's going to be a quick lesson, man, in just speaking on examining yourself. All right. It seems as we're getting to as closer to the end we get to this thing, it seems like brothers are becoming more lackadaisical or, disinterested. You see? And you're going to examine yourself constantly. All right. And, I'll say, brothers aren't always going to tell you if you're going off or not. Brothers aren't always going to admonish you. And this is why it's imperative that you examine yourself. You may you may find yourself, being very knowledgeable in the scriptures. You may find yourself breaking things down. You may find yourself doing a lot of shows. You may find yourself, just up in the forefront. But all that being said, that doesn't make you the total package. You can be doing all these things, but if you don't examine yourself to keep yourself, in check or check and balances, if you will, then, it's good for naught, man. Forgive me, I'm a little stuffed up on this end. Let me go here. 2 Corinthians 13:5, it says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is in you, except you be reprobates. All right. So examining yourself doesn't just stop at, testing if if you're in the faith or not. Okay. This is a constant. It's nonstop. Every waking day, every sleeping night, you are to examine yourself. The last thing you want to do is think that you don't have to examine yourself because you've been you put yourself in some type of position where now you don't have to check yourself. You see? And this is all about checking yourself, being humble. Like I said, brothers aren't always going to tell you, yo, bro, you going off, or, you doing this wrong, or this, that, and the third. And when you don't hear that from brothers, you think your shit is on point. You think that, you ain't on point. If you're not examining yourself, let's look at the men who have been raised up before us. All right. So I'm gonna start with the elders first. Elder Benatazak, Elder Ayathan, Elder Elder Inap, Elder Ibad, Elder Zakaran, Elder Tazayawan, the rest of all the other elders, forgive me if I missed a few names, but all the other elders. All right. It doesn't always have to go right to the top to the apostles, man. These men are the fruit of the apostles. These men are sound in everything that they do, and if we come through in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, but we also know that these men have been set up. They're the guide, they're the measure. If they don't do it, then you don't do it. That's basically how this thing, how you become grounded. You watch what the men do that have come before you. And likewise, when you see them, what do? They see the head apostles. You got men always trying to leapfrog and get right to the top, jump right to the top. We here at Great Millstone, there's order, man. There's order. You ain't always got to try to jump right to the top. There have been men that have come down the pipe in Great Millstone that decided that they want to be right in the forefront. They want to be right up top, front and center. All right? And it don't work like that. So if you're in that kind of spirit, you got to examine yourself. Know that there are many men that have come before you. All right. But like I said, examine yourself does not stop just to determine whether you be in the faith or not. All right. Examining yourself also encompasses whether you're going off, whether whether you coming in the right spirit. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 11, and I think I started I started 26. It says, "For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup," my glasses on. Do you eat this bread and drink this cup? Ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body of the blood of the Lord. Okay, verse 28. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of the bread and drink of that cup. You see? So examining yourself is all so important, man. You know, if you don't examine yourself and you out there doing shit wickedly on the left-hand side, trying to, think you're brotherly, you're gonna have the blood of the Lord upon you, man. And not in a light way. Right? Verse 29. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. Okay? He that eateth and drinketh unworthily. So how do you know whether you're drinking unworthily? You have to examine yourself. You have to find out the things that you're doing, trying to play both sides of the track. We got a lot of men that do that shit, man. There'll be a brother on teaching and speaking day, but during the week they're just doing nothing but wickedness. Right? So continue to examine yourself, brothers. And don't always wait for somebody to tell you you're going off. Don't always don't always expect somebody to say something to you, man. The Lord might not put it that way for you. The Lord might not set somebody up to say, yo, bro, check yourself, do this, do that. And if that is the case, then you may very well end up down that path, man. Doing shit unworthily. But like I said, this lesson is to keep brothers in that mindset, because there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of shit going on, and the closer we get to this thing, you want to make sure you give diligence to make your calling and election sure. And a part of that giving diligence is what? Examining yourself. Don't think for 1 minute you've sealed yourself on a chariot. We don't know who's sealed, all right, to be delivered. But we gotta act and push as if we're fighting for that seat, man. Which we are. We're fighting for that seat. Only Yahweh Shai knows. But we, as men on the earth, we're fighting for that. When brothers is fighting, man. Brothers is fighting for that seat. But in the midst of that fight, you examine yourself. All right. Proverbs 16:18, it says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And this is one of the tokens of a man not examining himself. He gets very prideful. Carries himself in a certain way. You can see and when a man is prideful just by his countenance and how he carries himself. All right? And that's the type of man that does not examine himself, because he feels there's no need to examine himself, because he thinks he got it all. He got all the knowledge. All right. But I'm gonna end it with that right there. And brothers, just examine yourself, stay in the faith, humble yourself, stay humble, all right? And think not that because you've been doing the work and putting shows up and doing this and that you have no need to examine yourself anymore. These times, these last days and times that we're living in is more pertinent than ever that you examine yourself to make sure you stay in good stead with Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the brotherhood. All right. So Lord willing, brothers are edified. I'll see you on another show. I say shalom.